What's up, guys? Welcome back into the Millennial Profit. My name's Adam and I'm a full-time reseller. If you're new here, I'll show you all different kinds of ways to make money. So if you like money, hit that subscribe button. You might hear some birds chirping and stuff. It's super nice outside, so I'm going to be using the back patio today. So that's why I have a little different of a setup. And sorry if my voice is a little hoarse. I've been pretty sick, so that's why I haven't gotten a couple videos up in like a week or so. So since I haven't done a video in a while, I thought it would be a good time to do another answering your questions video, going through the most commonly asked questions on my YouTube videos and just answering them on here. I will drop the timestamps down below if you're curious about an individual question, then you can hop directly to that. First question though from ZMC Football Cards: do you ever promote your eBay listings? That's a great question. I think I've said in several videos that I don't promote a lot of my listings, and that's mainly because I sell a lot of hats, and hats have so many different styles that usually I'm the only one with that exact hat out there, so I don't see the reason to promote. However, say I'm selling something like shoes that's more high competition. If it has a lot of competition, I will promote at 2%. No higher. I personally think it's just a money grab by eBay. I've played around with some higher percentages and not noticed any difference, and I've had other people in my Discord group say the same exact thing. So I wouldn't promote higher than 2% because at the end of the day you're just giving more to eBay. But if the item doesn't have a lot of competition, then I don't see the reason to promote. Next question. Hi, how do you recognize a good title to choose? That's a really good question, because a lot of people I see not listing with great titles, and that's one of the most important things to an eBay listing. The most important things to an eBay listing are the title, the pictures, the item specifics, and the price. You have those four things and you can have a good listing. So if you don't have a good title, it's not going to show up in search. Now, I was going to type an answer to this, but then I scrolled down to the comments and Billion Dollar Baby Mama TV answered it pretty much perfectly. So we're going to let her answer this one. Brand name first, what the item is, the size, the color, the condition, searchable keywords a buyer would use. Use all 80 characters if possible. Yes, that's the biggest thing. Use all 80 characters. Even if you're out of things to say, go look at other listings and see what they're saying. Other sold listings, what's already worked. Use those words that are getting searched. Avoid fluff words like cool, nice, amazing. Exactly, those things aren't getting searched. So don't just fill it out to fill it out. Make sure you're filling it out with descriptors that are actually going to get searched. And then they even give an example: bad, pretty tumbler cup. Yeah, I see a lot of people listing stuff like this, and then they'll put like one picture, and it's just like, come on, that's never gonna sell. And then they give good, Starbucks pink cherry blossom soft touch 24-ounce cold cup tumbler 2025 leak proof. Now that is a great listing. That is a great title that's going to get searched way more than pretty tumbler cup. So another good way to do this is by looking at the past solds, because you're going to want to sell one like this on the past sold. So find someone that's already sold it that has a very descriptive title, that's filled it out with good keywords, and just take that listing and it will take their title. You might have to tweak it a little bit, but you don't have to be pulling titles out of nowhere. I sell one like this on everything. Take someone else's listing that's already worked. Next one, question: do you lose money if you combine shipping? Absolutely not. Yes, it costs more if I have to ship 2 pairs of shoes together than if I have to ship one. But think about it. If I had to ship that one pair twice, which I would if they hadn't bought both of them, then it would cost more, because it's going to cost me like $7 to $10 to ship a single pair of shoes times 2. Let's just say best case scenario, $14 to ship that same pair of shoes twice. Now, if they order it together, instead of being 2 2-pound rates, it's going to be 1 4-pound rate. So it's going to be like $10 to $12. You're easily saving money, and again, it's probably not going to be 2 $7 ones. That's just the best case scenario if they were both close. This one comes off of the Academy Sports clearance video. How do you know when the clearance event is going to be? Does Academy send something out? That's a good question. I've gotten that a lot for like Academy and Kohls. For Kohls, we actually have a member that knows someone that works there, so they alert us like 2-3 weeks ahead of time. Shout out Jay Sema. Has made Bread and Butter members a lot of money by allowing us to plan ahead on those. And then Academy, it's kind of the same thing. In Bread and Butter, we just have so many people in there that we just talk to managers. We know people that work at stores, and someone in the group finds out and lets everyone know when it is. So it's just kind of cool how we can kind of network and let each other know when these sales are ahead of time so that we're able to plan and hit them the day that it starts. So if you're interested in joining Bread and Butter, you can check that out. First link in the description for daily in-store and online leads and all these sales that are called out. Next question, do you look up each individual shoe on eBay or do you go by brand? Another question that I've gotten a lot. Shoes actually are one of the easiest things to find the exact market on. Unlike hats, like I don't tell people to start in hats because they're just hard to find the exact style. Like I said earlier, there's so many different styles of them. Shoes, you can find that exact style and you can even sort by that exact size to see what the market is on that size. Personally, I just look by the style, and you can do this by looking at the style code on the inside of the shoe. Or if they come with the box, the style code is going to be on the outside of the box. So that's going to work for pretty much any brand. Converse, Nike, Adidas, some other brands, they might not use them, but a lot of brands use these style codes. And if nothing comes up with the style code, type in the style name that shows on the box and that will work. Or you can even use the eBay app or the eProfit app and just scan a picture of the item, and a lot of times it will pull that up as well. But the style code is going to pull up that exact shoe and you'll be able to get a read on that exact market. So no, you're not just guessing on it and just, oh, I see a bunch of Nikes, I'm going to just buy the Nikes. No, you're going on exact sold history in that exact style by searching the style codes or the style name. Next one from Das White. Would you say, as a good rule of thumb, you want to be able to sell an item for 2.5 times what you paid for it, or no? That really depends business to business. Personally, I'm trying to double my money at worst after all of the costs. So if I can buy a hat for $10, and after the fees, shipping, and cost of goods sold, I can make $10 on it. So with the cost of goods, making $20 back on that $10 purchase, then I'm going to do it. Unless it's like a volume play, and then I might go a little less if I know I can sell it faster and sell a bunch of the things on the same listing. But typically, I'm not buying anything if I'm not able to make double my money on it. But that's just my personal business. Yours might be completely different. Now, if you are trying to go for higher margins than that, obviously it's going to be harder to find the higher the margins that you're looking for. But everyone's got different businesses. Everyone's got different amounts of capital they're looking to spend. So if you don't have a ton of capital, focus on higher margin stuff. Next one, I get this question all the time. Should I set up a business or personal eBay account to start selling? I have one of each, and personally, I don't notice a huge difference between either of them. So really just set up whichever one is easiest for you. There's really not much of a difference between the two. If you have an LLC or something, then yeah, set up a business one. If you don't, set up a personal one. It really doesn't make a difference. Just open an account and start selling. Another one from Das White asking some really good questions. Is starting capital of 5K enough for retail arbitrage method and or online arbitrage method to produce at least $1,000 per month in profit? That is kind of a loaded question because, again, that is going to completely depend business to business and like what your margins are. 5K to make 1K, like it really just depends what your margins are. But actually the biggest thing I would pull from this is I could have all the money in the world, and if I hadn't had any experience reselling, I would not get into selling new stuff by doing retail or online arbitrage because they are so risky and the markets are constantly changing on them that it's not the market that you should get in when you're learning how to do it. I would get into it like I'm doing in my Flipping from Zero series, at the thrift stores, at the bin stores, estate sales, garage sales, Facebook Marketplace, telling people you know what you do, and selling friends and family stuff. Like that's the best way to learn the markets on a lot of this stuff, learn how to list, learn how to ship. If you just hop straight into retail or online arbitrage, buy a mass quantity of things, you're going to make some bad buys and bury yourself fast. So even if I had all the money in the world, I would not start by doing these, just because you need to have a knowledge on different items and markets, how to know what to buy, how to know how to list, how to know how to ship, and make sure that you're actually making money on these items. Which by selling used items from like thrift stores, bin stores, liquidation stores, you're able to learn the markets on these things without having to break the bank. So your bad buys aren't that bad because they're like $1 or $2. Another one from Wax Lab Collectibles. Just stumbled upon your channel. Awesome content. Wanted to ask, do you have a video explaining how you track profit loss? I'm sure it can be difficult to track how much each item costs and what it's sold for. Any tips, software, tools? I do have one of those, and I actually linked it under that question. But really, when you're starting out, just use an Excel spreadsheet and track item by item. eBay's already going to pull your fees and your shipping, so you can already pull that out in bulk at the end of the year. So you really just need to track your cost of goods. Another software people like to use is something like QuickBooks. There's some other things like that. I personally just use Excel, and I just do a bulk method at the end of the year. I don't track item by item. My accountant has found a better way for me to do it where I'm able to basically just give them my total amount of inventory at the beginning of each year. And from that, with my purchases, we can pull my cost of goods sold with the formula. So it saves me a lot of time. Really, once you start getting into this game more and making more sales, it's huge to get a CPA. They can help you save a lot of money and deduct a lot of things that you didn't even know were deductible. So that would be my biggest key advice. Once you scale up a little bit, definitely get a CPA because they're going to save you more money than you're actually paying them. Next one from Taterbug. I am new to this. When I'm listing my item, I'm presented with this shipping info to fill in as if I have to put it in when I list. So I've been packing up each item as if they are ready to ship, as to know all the measurements and weights. But it looks as if you are only just doing all the shipping after it sells. How will you know how much shipping will be if you don't have it on your listing? So basically in that video, I actually changed the shipping after I bought it. So I think I had it set as like ground advantage and I changed it to something else, and I upped the weight and I upped the dimensions. So they're like basically thinking like, you charge the buyer so much for this and then you ended up upping it, so isn't that going to charge you more? If I was charging shipping, yes it would, but I do free shipping. Either way you do it, you should view it as a total price. So I just do free shipping on everything for the most part. But how I know what things are going to cost to ship is just based on experience in selling these different things. So I don't really put in my listings the exact weight and dimensions with the box or anything. When you're starting out, it's probably a good practice just while you're learning what things cost to ship. But personally, I don't waste time on that because of how many years I've been in the game. If you want to learn these rates and everything, check out the eBay shipping calculator. It's a free tool on eBay's website, and you can put in different zips. I used to put in from Ohio to California with different weights and dimensions, and you kind of learn what things cost to ship. That way you can build it into your price. Or if you're charging shipping, you can charge that amount, that worst case scenario shipping amount. But again, I mainly sell hats and shoes, so hats are going to run me anywhere between $4 and $6, and shoes are going to run me anywhere between $7 and $12. So I don't bother putting in the weight and dimensions usually ahead of time. I'll just put them in when I ship them, because when I'm listing them, I already know what they're going to cost to ship. All right, then lastly, we have a behemoth of a question. Oh my gosh. So I guess I will just break this down each question by each question. This person was very upset with how I listed this hat in a 2-minute short, and said everything I did wrong, because you know how many details I can fit into a 2-minute short, so I can certainly answer every single question. These crack me up. I actually sent back, you could have listed 15 items in the time it took to write all that back, because honestly, I didn't read it the first time. I read like the first couple sentences and I was like, oh, this would be perfect for another Q&A video. So let's just attack it question by question and see what this person has wrong with how I listed a hat. So first off, why would you choose the listing to sell similar on based on the title when you plan to edit that anyway? You'd be better off copying the highest price sold listing by scanning the UPC with the search function, filtering by sold, and sorting price high to low. Well, I actually mentioned this in the 2-minute video, that it's a hat, and hats have so many different styles that it was unlikely this one had a style. As I said in the video, I scanned the UPC and nothing came up because hats have a lot of styles. So I searched for a similar item and I picked the one with the best, most filled out looking title, which I then, yes, still edited it because I have OCD towards that type of stuff and always edit the titles up to look the way that I like. Next question, does the UPC match? Do the rest of the item specifics match? If not, you'd lose an item not described claim from the buyer. I just deleted the UPC. I don't usually use the UPC on hats because really all it does is help the competition. If some other noob finds that hat and scans it, which a lot of people do with hats, then they're going to find my listing and they're going to buy it and be competition. I don't go off of UPCs with hats. I go off of manual searches. Do the rest of the item specifics match? Yes, they do. I said that in the 2-minute video. I said that you need to worry about the item specifics, the title, the photos, and the price. Why don't you care about description? When there is no effort at all in the description, it looks like lazy, inconsiderate seller. Well, I let the AI make the description, but the description doesn't matter at all, so I don't worry about it. But the AI makes it look better than I used to make it. You have 13 of these and you're not offering a best offer or buy more and save discount. Also, you pulled the $30 price out of air as perceived by the viewer. Is that something you took time to research in advance? As I mentioned in the video, I got this price by going through the sold listings and the active listings. I explained all this. It's only a 2-minute video. It's not hard to watch. Sorry, I'm getting upset. These comments just crack me up. And also they said you have 13 of these, best offer. Well, nobody else has this hat, and in that style they were selling for like $35, so that's what I listed it at. And no, I don't take offers. I don't see the reason to take less when I'm the only one that has that hat. You say nah to promoting the item despite having 13 of them you need to unload. Is that because you're already going to be priced the lowest? The sell-through rate is super high and or supply is super low. It would help the viewers if rationale was provided. Again, it's a 3-minute video max. I can't provide as much detail as I want. If you want more detail, watch my full content. I have a full listing video that's like 12 minutes long. You can watch that. Answers all of these questions. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to get mad. This question's just actually making me more mad the more I read it. But they said you said nah to promoting the item. I already explained my rationale on that. Nobody else has the hat, so I'm not going to promote it. There's no reason to. There's no competition. These considerations above to market and sell the item properly add to the 2 minutes you're showing, but are pretty important. Well, thank you so much for commenting that. You really added a ton of value to the video, and I'm sure someone's going to spend 10 minutes reading that. All right, that's all, guys. I always have to end on something funny, and I thought that was hilarious that someone took 10 minutes to write up a book in the comments about everything I did wrong in a 2-minute reel. So that will about wrap it up. Again, if you're interested in bread and butter, you can check that out down below. There's money to be made everywhere, guys. Let's go get it. Thank you for watching The Millennial Prophet.